What counts as reasonable fear in a self-defense shooting? Uh, what counts as reasonable fear in a self-defense shooting is, what did you actually fear, and was that realistic in terms of would a person, a rational person put in that same circumstance, feel the same way? Now, it's not necessarily that objective standard. It's your subjective standard. Like, what did you think? Because that goes to your criminal intent. If you believe you're about to be killed, you believe you're about to lose your life, and you have a realistic or a reason to think that. In other words, the facts are there to show that that's about to happen, and that somebody looking at that from the outside would go, anybody in that situation would think the same thing. So how does that come about? Many times it could come about through just the actions of the other person, could come about through the threats they're making. If somebody's running at you with a knife screaming, "I'm going to kill you," okay, then what would anybody else think? Obviously, the factors there is they're screaming, "I'm going to kill you." So that shows their intent, their state of mind. They're armed with a knife. They're holding it in a threatening and aggressive manner. In other words, it's not folded up, in a backpack. They've got it in their hand. They're brandishing the knife. They're screaming at you. They're running at you. Okay, so now the clock is ticking, because within another half a second or so, they're going to arrive at the place where they can harm you and do harm to you. So now you have just a split second sometimes to make a decision of what do you do. Under the stand your ground law, you're not required to turn and flee. And even under the old self-defense law, you wouldn't be expected to retreat if the retreat would put you in more danger. If you couldn't safely retreat, you couldn't retreat. Now, that's really not the law anymore, but you can't get it out of people's head, because when something is a law for so long, decades, a century or more, then people always go back to it, and then you have to remind them, like as a defense lawyer, you have to say, well, wait a minute, that's not the law anymore, so don't analyze it that way. So that's the description of the fear. It's that it's imminent, and the person has the legal term is the person has the present ability to harm you. And if you think about it like this, in an assault case, if in an assault case, and that's what self-defense is defending yourself from an imminent assault. If I'm talking to you and you're in jail and you're behind bars, literally behind bars, and I'm standing back from you, a few feet from you, and you don't have a weapon, you don't have a key, you can't get out of there, and you tell me, "I'm going to kill you, Greg, I'm going to kill you," and you're clenching your fists, and you're clenching your teeth, and you have every aspect that you're showing that you intend to do it if you could do it, it's not really an assault, because you can't do it because you're in jail. Okay, so it's just talking. Now, they pass laws about that, because if you're a public official or you're a certain person, they make it illegal to threaten somebody, even using the phone or something. That's why they had to pass those laws, because if you're not physically capable of doing it, it's an impossibility. So in that situation, if you're behind bars and you're growling at me and you're screaming, "I'm going to kill you," and then I'm armed and I pull out the gun and I shoot you, is not self-defense, because physically it was impossible for you to create harm right then. And that's what imminent means. You have a present ability to do it, and the fear is imminent. The fear of harm is imminent, which means it's happening right now. In that scenario, it's not happening right now. I may be worried about something in the future, and then if I ran into you in an alley in the future and you go, "Aha, I've got you now," then what you said earlier is relevant, but it's a completely different situation. So the person has to have the ability to carry it out, and that makes it reasonable for you to act in self-defense in that scenario.